Yo, everyday superpower, the place where you learn about body language, relationships, game, everything in between. Two links down in the description. One of them will take you through to the catalogue of body language, a YouTube playlist which shows you how to read the minds of others. Second to that is the Patreon, where you'll learn how to read people from A to B. You'll become Casanova. Boom. Now, today I'm going to talk about the concept of negging. I don't like calling it negging. I think negging, comically enough, has very negative connotations, and I think it's, I don't know, to strategize it of such and to say I'm negging someone comes across as very manipulative, and not that I disagree that persuasion and being able to influence isn't manipulative, but I try to stray away from any sort of, potentially devilish means of influencing the psyche and, basically, if it's not honest, I'm not too fussed. But I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about my experience with it. I'm going to talk about the effectiveness of what I do and how I do it, and how I see it not being used. So people who aren't really good with communicating with women, they'll come on too strong and they'll be outright offensive. And that might not be even with them being aware of, the concept of negging, so to speak. They might not be read on the theoretics behind it and of such, and that's going to be the majority of people. But people come on too strong and say, "Oh, you're fat," you know what I mean, and just literally hurt the feelings of someone. Now, don't get me wrong. If there's some degree of trauma bonding going on there, that establishes at that point, they might be into that. You hear about some women go out of their way to try to get hurt by their partners, like physically hurt, because that's where they get their kicks. We're not talking about them special cases, people, and we stay well away from that sort of stuff. But as far as negging is concerned, on my end, I'm not going to speak in regards to the mystery method style of things, where it's like that particular approach. I'm just going to talk about being flirtatious and sort of potentially walking the line of hot and cold, as to where you might accidentally, create some slight degree of insecurity, but not out of want. I don't really want to hurt the feelings of no one. I don't think that's conducive to, a great and easy path to becoming something with somebody. But sometimes you'll make a comment trying to take the piss, and they'll take it personally through one way or another. I mean, you'll message someone and you'll say, "What's good, big head?" And one person will give you a bit of crap back, saying, "Oh, you calling big head, you bloody bloody blah," and it's on. We're laughing, you know what I mean? Whereas some people might respond with, "What do you mean? What did you mean by that?" And that's like, you don't want to start having to explain yourself because of that, you know what I mean? So there's two different degrees, but let's approach both sides of things. They both come together and they create an engagement. That's good marketing. If we were talking business 101 and we were selling ourselves as a product, we've engaged and created reception from our target audience, the girl we want to create communication with. So it's not the worst thing in the world, right? So there are levels to it. If you learn to politely and flirtatiously, put someone down, not through an attack of an insecurity of theirs, we're not bullies, but through a light joke, especially if they can give it back, that creates a fantastic space to sort of move on forwards and not necessarily be in that friend zone. We alleviate the friend zone because we're flirting with each other, we're paying attention to each other in order to pick at these little things. And when she has a go at you, you don't take it personally because you're a man, and it just brushes off of you, right? And she can look at you and say, "Wow, what a man." I've had experiences in my life where men have reacted with such incredible degrees of verbal violence and vitriol through me just picking at them. he's not an insecure man like they are. Because you have to think every single victory you have as far as being tested and overcoming and showing a good strength of character, right? You put yourself above and beyond 50% of the other men by default, alright? So each and everything you pass, you create something more in the eyes of that individual, okay? So, sorry, I'll be with you in 1 second. So, when it comes to negging, yeah, I don't use it in the, well, let's be real here. I was gonna say I don't use it in the sense that I am strategically sort of breaking down that person to put them below me and have them perceive me in a position above and beyond them. That's not what I'm doing, although I say that to say by default it's probably what's happening, right? Because you put yourself in a position as to where you show some degree of superiority to have the confidence and the comfort to do that, because you wouldn't do it to your boss. You wouldn't say, well, you could do if you had a comfortable relationship, but it's not good. Never outshine the master. That's what they say, right? So it's not good to laugh at your regional manager, let's say the CEO of the company, the person who pulls your purse strings, right? The politician who makes decisions for everyone. It's not good for you to go out of your way to try and sort of, flirt on the line of what's acceptable and what's not in general societal norms, out of the risk that it could go wrong. But you're willing to take the risk with this person because, quite frankly, it doesn't matter what the result is, because you are in a position as to which it doesn't matter. Like, so what? If you get angry at that, that's not my problem, right? So I guess I don't perceive it at this point through the literal theoretic of, gaming, so to speak. But that's purely because I probably assessed this behaviour the best part of a decade ago, and I've internalized and played through, such a consistent pattern of communication at this point that it's just become a foolproof means of my manner when I converse with people, when I converse with women who I want to, have fun and engaging conversation with. But I think it's good, and I don't think you should be frightened of showcasing a little bit of lack of care, so to speak, about the feelings of others. That's not to say you want to hurt their feelings. You never want to hurt no one's feelings, but you don't want to be Mr. Nice Guy and always have to raise this person on a pedestal and feel like it's your job to make this person happy. No, that's the next man's job to go out of the way to make them happy, because that means they've put themselves below not only her but you as well. Yeah, you're on the pedestal above them both. It's a little bit of a classical conditioning sort of thing. So, not that you approach this literally, but it just falls within the realms of classical conditioning, that you can start to compliment and feed positive, complimentary statements to someone, given that they prove that they're actually worthwhile of doing so. We're not a person who just goes in there and just starts begging for attention and positive feedback of someone like a dog. We're not like that, alright? We don't need to do that. So we'll talk to people like a human being, and if they start to feed back and start to actually make you feel good, if they start to actually show interest in you, if they start to actually show that there might be something worth working for in that relationship and communication, then you can start to, give the dog a bone, so to speak. Alright, whilst we keep it on the whole feline concept. That's when we can start to talk about stuff like that. But there's nothing wrong with flirtatious, negging. I think it's half decent. It shows that you're a bit nonchalant, and it shows that you're okay to take a risk, and that you're so comfortable with this person that even if they did take offense, you know your worth. It all comes down to your value and your worth and your confidence. We spoke on this in the last video, confidence and competence. To be confident, you need to be competent. And I'm so competent that I can just take the piss out of you, and if you take offense to it and get really angry, I can say, well, it wasn't intended for that to be the case. I don't have to go overt explanation and just say sorry. That's not the case. I just have to say it wasn't intended at that, mate. We can move on, and if you want to get annoyed at it and get angry at it, I don't have time for that. So I'll either move on to the next person, or you can just sit there, think about it, and just come back when you realise you overreacted and it wasn't my actual intention, and then we can get back onto good grounds. And if anything, that's only going to reinforce your attraction to me, purely because you've continued chasing me, because I am the person who is to be chased, because I'm the one who's doing stuff, I'm the one who is self-confident, I'm the one who is the trophy, considering there's so many other women to choose from, right? That's the way it is. That's the way it is. I'm valuable. My time is valuable. I'm not going to sit around patting you on the head because you've taken something the wrong way. When I've tried to be flirtatious, tried to put a smile on your face and wind you up a little bit, but that's because I want you to fire it back. It's all transactional. Fire it back at me and it'll brush off of me and we'll have a laugh together and we'll laugh at my insecurities or what you perceive as my insecurities, yeah? If you can hit me with a good one and hit me on an insecurity of such, we'll have a laugh at it and I'll say, oh, you're an idiot for that, you know what I mean? And you'll think, oh, wow, even his weak points aren't weak. They're still strong. He knows how to defend himself. He's a strong man. You see where we're coming from here? It's effective, constructive, relationship establishing communication. So that's a couple of opinions in regards to that. Negging isn't negative for me. It's a showcase of lack of need. It's a showcase of risk taking, which is incredibly attractive to a woman, because I'm taking a risk by making this outlandish comment. And if you take it wrong, which is quite good, by the way, because you might be luring yourself into a shit test, so to speak, because it might hit her, and then she might think, "All right, I'm gonna make this seem like he's really bothered me here, and I'm gonna make him grovel for me to stay around him." So they might react in a way which is asking of your submittance at that point. "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." Bro, we only say sorry if we really mean it, if we've made a serious mistake. I don't think there's anything wrong with saying sorry. Some people disagree with that. Some people say, "Oh, you never say sorry, blah, blah, blah." I own up to my mistakes. That isn't a mistake because I've gone out of my way to say something and I know my intentions, yeah? When I've not listened to your instruction, right, to take that route when we're driving a car to a location to see your mum and we need to get there on time, and I've not listened to you and I've said no, it's this way, and I've driven the other way and we've ended up getting to your mum's late and now the family's annoyed at us, I'll say sorry. I'll own up to it. That was my mistake. I should have listened to you. I apologise in regards to that. I hold my hands up. That's what a man does, right? We take ownership of our actions. Not when we go out of our way and have to apologise for something we don't really care about. That's weakness, and she'll perceive it as that. You'll be looked at as a pushover, and I've spoken about this in past videos. I've spoken about this in real life to women around the table with men and women, because it's been an incredibly eye-opening experience to say to a woman, "What would you think if your husband kept apologising to you?" And she said, "I'd think he was a pussy," right? Take it as it is. We listen to women to hear how they would perceive it, because they're going to give us the, well, I wouldn't say the honest truth, but they're going to give us more direct, a more direct message to decipher, let's speak, as opposed to the middleman being the man who's heard it from another man who has heard it from a woman. And I say that to say I'm the middleman in all of this. I can't tell you a woman's perspective, can I? Let's be real, be honest with yourself. That's not the case. But I can speak on my own personal experience, and as far as experiences go, things are going good. Things are as good as they've ever been, so I speak more concentrated on this right about now. Because I've looked at the bits and bobs, now I see the overall picture. It's all just foundational for me. I've got it all laid out. I know how to communicate, I know how to talk. I've seen the patterns I've made, the mistakes, and things are good. So on that note, I'll see you on the next video. Yeah, click like and subscribe. Peace.